Hey guys.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. I see some recognizable faces. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining. It's so nice to see everyone back another Friday. We've been away last Friday, so thank you so much for joining. We're going to do things a little bit differently today. I'd love for you guys to open up your mics and share your stories. First of all, I want to congratulate everybody who's joined the learnathons. The word hackathon can seem scary sometimes. So, thank you for joining and thank you for wanting to learn and grow your technical skills. This is precisely why we built Mintbean. And I'm going to sort of walk you guys through our ecosystem and walk you guys through the importance of the learnathons and why we are here to support you in your journey and why are we doing what we're doing. So I'd love to answer those questions. Let's make this a little bit more of an exclusive space where rather than just me sharing my insights about the learnathon, I'd love to hear from you guys in terms of what are your expectations, what are you hoping to learn. I'm going to be looking in chat as well as hoping that someone is comfortable enough to open up their mic and get the conversation started.
I can go first. I mean, it's always good to warm up a room. Hi guys, I'm the other co-founder of Mintbean. Y'all have seen me before. I've seen a lot of y'all before. I see Doug. I see Drew. I yeah. Hey Doug. Hey Drew. Drew, I think you won hackathon a couple of weeks ago. So congrats on that. That one was super cool. The Star Wars one was really cool. Hey Joseph, good to see you again too. And if everybody could
Good to
just
see you,
open
Joe.
up their, good to see you, man. If everybody wants to open up their cameras and it makes everything feel way more lively. Thank you for being here. I'm the technical co-founder, and I handle a lot of the challenge creation. So I've created every single challenge for the past several months, and I'm today's challenge is actually super relevant. We're going to be building a job board, and what better way to sharpen your skills as software developers than to build a full job board? Um, Show of hands, who has not used a job board until now? Not used. Cynthia, really? Never? Hey, hello.
Actually, I think I have in my own diminished way.
There we go. Okay, so I think everybody kind of knows who has not used the job board on the employer side. So never seen the job board from the employer side. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5-ish people. Okay, cool. All right, so I've seen the job board from both the employer side and the dev side, and it's very different when you look at it from the other end. And the first time I saw it from the other end was when I was hiring for developers for the first time. It was really nice being on the other side of the table, but it was also really intimidating because job boards are just such busy places. And if you think being intimidated as a candidate is the thing, then you should look at it from the employer's point of view. Man, they get so many applications and they have no clue who's good. They have no clue who's not so good just by looking at you on paper. And that's part of the inspiration for today's hackathon, is to give you a little bit of a hands-on insight into what it feels like to build something that you're probably going to be on for a long time and only get a one-sided view on. I broke into the industry as a self-taught developer, so I kind of had to break in the hard way, and it is difficult. I can tell you that. How long does anybody over here have you been looking for more than 3 months for a job now as a developer? Okay,
Six,
1, 2, 3,
two half.
4. Cool. Anybody been looking for more than 6 months? Okay, 1, 2. All right. It took me, I think, 8 months from starting software development to getting my first paid work, and I don't even think it was a job. It wasn't a job. It was a freelance gig. So I totally get it, and it can be hard. And I think after this week's Learnathon, you're going to see how the job board works, how most job boards work. And when you look at it from the employer's point of view, it's going to be really, I hope it'll be an enlightening experience for you as you build this week's learnathon.
Monarch, it's
Um,
funny. Sorry, I'm gonna jump in just for a second. It's funny that you mentioned that is because I've spoken to a few of you over the course of the last week, and we've been talking about the psychology of the employer as well in this journey of looking for work and breaking into the industry. And when you look at it from the perspective of the employer, like their reality is different from your reality, right? You're just sort of sending your interaction with the company is sort of sending out the application and then hoping that somebody reaches out, and that's how your relationship starts with them. But on the other side is they're inundated with applications, right? So then it becomes a sort of a matching and filtering criteria for them, and depending on the size of the company, and I've said this to a few of you, it becomes sort of an exercise of, okay, well, how many are we going to filter down to the next step, and what does that look like, right? What is it if it's a big company like Shopify or Fang or any company in your area that has somewhat of a brand presence, that everybody wants to work there, so they get like thousands of applications. So then it becomes a matter of like how many people are involved in the process, right? Is it some sort of ATS system? Do they have their job board plugged into an ATS system that is doing some sort of like keyword matching? Or is there a person that is doing the resume screening, and how many minutes, how many seconds are they spending on your resume before they move you on to whether, hey, quickly test you on your algorithms and then send you a phone call or pass you down the pipeline. So I think this is going to be really good in just sort of exposing you guys to their psyche a little bit. So I'm super excited about this particular learnathon.
for sure. Do you want me to do the challenge walkthrough? That's what everybody over here is here for.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get started with the challenge walkthrough. I do also want to, once you're done with the walkthrough, I do want to go over the guide as well. So we'll revisit that once we go through the challenge.
Cool. I think you usually do the guide first, or do you usually do?
I usually do the guide first, but let's flip it around. Let's do the challenge and then walk you guys through the guide.
Cool. Sounds good. By the way, we just launched a brand new meets page, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm going to show it off to you guys. We fixed a few bugs. This week has been really productive on the dev side for Mintbean. So if you go to the meets page, you'll see the all new meet search, and all of the hackathons are highlighted in teal. So if you look for the mint colored cards, those are all the hackathons that are coming up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hackathons coming up. We have 7 workshops coming up, and you can see all of the past ones too if you scroll down, or you can click on hot to see which ones have the most registrations. You can see upcoming workshops and learnathons as well, and you can go and see the past ones if you're curious. And we also have a new and improved search feature. There are a couple of bugs. If you see any bugs, please let us know. We pretty much move fast and break things, and we have this philosophy of including you guys in the development flow. We often ask for feedback in one-on-one settings from developers. So if you see anything that you hate about the website, if that's style stuff, I know a few people over here are gonna hate some of the style stuff. If you guys really are annoyed about anything, let us know. If you really love something, let us know too, because that lets us build stuff that's more relevant for you guys. We often hire from the community. There are 2 jobs open right now for Mintbean itself. We've already approached 4 developers from the community who are either code mentors or are previous hackathon winners, and these are short-term contract jobs for a contract that's open right now on the Mintbean side. It's I can't say much more about the contract, but it's a client project, and you'll be getting mentorship directly from me. And if that kind of sounds interesting to you, JavaScript, Next.js, PostgreSQL are involved in that project, let me know. But yeah, we don't advertise widely on these jobs. We usually fill dev roles pretty quickly from the community itself. So we involve you guys totally on the site. just reach out and we can involve you in the job app process if you're interested in that role. Anyway, coming
I
down
found a
to
bug. By the way, speaking of bugs, I found a bug this morning.
oh,
I just interacted with the meats page earlier today, and I was like, why can't I find today's meat when you
yeah,
hit all meats? I don't know what the algorithm that is built
you,
into it. It's like at the bottom of the page.
you know what happened, Navi? It's not an algorithm thing. It's a UX thing. So we should be showing upcoming meets first, and instead we did all meets first. So we can't deploy it today because it's a Friday and it's hackathon day. It's the busiest day of the week for us. We'll be fixing that on Monday. But yeah, stuff like that. Just reach out and let me know because we do need to fix up a few bugs. If you see any, let us know on Discord. Here's today's hackathon, and it is how to, you already know this stuff. Let me get to the challenge. um, so today's stack is you're not gonna be seeing this screen. So if you're brand new, let me show you how you can find the hackathon itself. I'm gonna sign in over here. Where is uh, yeah, I think that should be, oh my god, here we go. So I'm going to log in, and you can find the hackathon by just typing job over here. You can go into how to code a job board. And over here, once you're here, you can see everybody who's registered on the right. You can see upcoming events on the left. You can click on Kanban, and you'll have to register for this meet to view. So make sure that you're registered first on the meet details page. Once you're signed up, you can then go to Kanban and click on unlock a Kanban guide. And when you click that, you'll see a Kanban guide for you. This is your own personal Kanban guide. It's not shared with anyone. And you can get all of your requirements right here. And it's all laid out for you from top to bottom order. So start with the top tickets and then work your way down to the bottom tickets. And you'll understand everything that needs to be done in this hackathon in order to win or in order to finish. One thing I should mention, we're a learnathon, which means the points don't matter and winners get kudos. We're all over here to learn, and we're not over here to show each other up in any kind of strong competitive. We don't really have strong competitive vibes. It is completely okay to fail, and it is completely okay not to deploy a project if you aren't able to do it. So don't get intimidated. It's totally fine to not deploy. It's totally fine not to win, and it's also fine not to try. In all honesty, as long as you're building stuff that matters and it's fun for you, that's what matters in software development. And if you code according to these tickets, you'll know what to build next. I know a lot of you guys are in tutorial hell. I know a lot of you guys don't really have any idea what to build next. That's what the learnathons are here to solve. And just follow this workflow. And if even if you don't submit on Thursday, totally cool. Try again on the following Friday because we do this every single week. To get started, we even say it over here. It's okay if you don't finish. Choose your stack. I recommend you guys work with a stack that either you're familiar with or very interested in. Either is fine. You don't need any experience in order to pick a certain technology. If you want to experiment with, I don't know, Phoenix Elixir, or if you want to experiment with Rust or Golang, this is an opportunity for you to pick up a brand new tech and work with it. Or you can pick up something that you're working on for your job search, and that's totally fine too. Any technology is allowed, any language is allowed for this hackathon. Most people are probably going to be building in React and Node.js, maybe Next.js. None of this is necessary, and any stack that you and your team feel is appropriate is great. You can have a team of up to 3 people. So just a heads up over there, you can have up to 3 people in your team, or you can do it solo. If you do not have a team, join the Discord. It's on the bottom left. And after you join, it'll pop up and you can click accept invite. It'll open the Discord app. And on the left-hand side, there's going to be a channel called Find Teams. If you do not have a team and you'd like to be in a team, please join teams over here on the left. There is the find a team channel over here in the events tab. There are a lot of channels. I know it's difficult to go through it. What I do is I do Command K or Control K if you're on a Windows or Linux, but on Mac is Command K. And you can do find a team, and you can click on find team over there, and you land over here. So if anybody is looking for a team, I know there are some people who are looking for a team right now. Lauren is looking to learn GraphQL. Big Jill is asking, do you need GraphQL? This is where you can find a teammate that's suited for you. So if I go back to this page, after you've chosen your stack and you know exactly what you're going to be building with, there's a section called homepage, which is super important for job seekers, which most of you I know are. If you want recruiters to notice your work and you want to impress your friends and family, then having a homepage is super important for any personal project. If you're just building a personal project for fun and you don't intend to make it a portfolio piece, then it doesn't matter. But the Learnathon projects are designed so that they are impressive to recruiters by default. So imagine a recruiter that visits your portfolio, sees a job board application on your portfolio. That's pretty impressive to a recruiter. So every single hackathon is built with that in mind. And for those of you looking for work, if you want to bring a portfolio piece out of this for yourself, then make sure you build a homepage. Winners in the hackathon generally have a homepage. I think they always have a homepage. Navi, I don't know if there are any rules that are formal against or about it, but I believe we definitely do look for a homepage in order to pick a winner.
Yeah, we don't have
So
formal rules that you need a homepage, or it's called a landing page in marketing terms. So this is really about how so Mintbean is not just really about technical upskilling, but it's also about how do we show you insights into optimization for your portfolio site on LinkedIn? What are some things that you can do overall to make sure that your visibility is higher with employers? And this is one of those pieces. So if you are looking for work, then we highly recommend it.
yep. This ticket will teach you how to build an above the fold section, how to build an explainer section, how to build a team section, and there's a bunch of information in here, so you guys can check that out. After you've built the employer, you now have a couple of tickets. One is the employer ticket, and one is the candidate requirements ticket. For employers, this is the employer view, and it tells you exactly who the employer is and examples of what an employer sees. This is going to be really interesting for a lot of you folks because this gives you insight into what the employer wants when they're working with a job board, and it also starts giving you a bit of insight into the world of an employer and what kind of pressures and stresses are on them when they're doing their job. They're very time crunched and they're usually screening hundreds of resumes in an hour. So this ticket will give you an overview of what the employer sees and examples of what they see. This particular hackathon is not hard and fast. This is what you need to do. So this is one of our more open-ended hackathons where we give you an overall sense of what it is that you're building, and we let you guys do things creatively from that point on. So feel free to feel free to use this as inspiration. Feel free to use this as hard requirements. Feel free to use this, feel free to ignore this. But this is generally what most job boards have when it comes to the employer view, just so you know. Then there's a candidate requirements, which is very similar. You don't need to tell me what a candidate, I don't need to tell you what a candidate sees, you know. And but still, it's always useful to have a checklist of things to do. So over here, we have what a candidate generally looks like and what a candidate sees when she goes through a job board. So you can take a look at this. Again, use it as inspiration, use it as hard requirements, ignore it, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're learning. And if you have something that's creative that you really have wanted to see on a job board, and it's an idea in your mind, maybe it's an actual product idea, feel free to turn that into an actual application. And this is your opportunity to improve the experience for the candidate or for the employer according to what you think is right. What's important at the end of the day is not to win this hackathon, it's to hands-on work with technologies. So this and the previous ticket are definitely just suggestions. And I hope you guys find these tickets useful. One question that will come up is, all right, well, how do you differentiate between users and candidates, right? And I don't know if that's something that most of you know. So I've given you guys a little taste of what this could look like in practice. So when you're building an application like this, you're going to want to log in either as an employer or as a candidate. And if you're logging in as an employer, uh, you want to see a few screens. You have a few capabilities that you're able to take advantage of. That if you're a candidate, you can't. For example, as an employer, you can post a job, but you can't apply for a job as an employer. As a candidate, you can apply for a job, but you can't post a job. And then you have views that are very different. All of that functionality can be simple if-then statements scattered across your views, scattered across your backend endpoints. And those if-then statements can check if user.isEmployer then. So easiest way to do it is to add an isEmployer field on your database. It's the way that most startups build their MVP. And based on this flag, you can decide what to choose. I recommend you don't implement role-based authentication. I recommend you don't implement anything complicated like database-based authentication. Don't do weird, complex stuff. It's a simple application unless you want to. I suggest you don't unless you want to. If you want to, go for it. But think about what your application's vision really needs. And in most cases, a simple Boolean flag on the user table, or a simple Boolean record, if you're using Mongo, a simple Boolean property on the employer document, or the user document, sorry, is just totally fine. You don't need anything more complicated than that. Don't forget to join next week's hackathon. So next week, we're going to be teaching you all GraphQL. So it's a GraphQL hackathon that's going to kick off with an intro to GraphQL workshop. You can join the full learnathon, or you can just join the workshop. Either is fine. But if you join the hackathon, then it's going to be really awesome. You're going to learn GraphQL, which is extremely hot right now. It's one of those flagship technologies that set you apart for a few employers. So if you have GraphQL is actually still hard to find in developers, and some companies absolutely need GraphQL developers. And if you have GraphQL in your skill set, in your portfolio, then you'll be able to stand out in the market. I don't say this lightly, and I don't say this just based on my experience. I know for a fact that GraphQL is one of those things like React, like Git, that sets you apart from 80% of the candidates. And if you have GraphQL, React, and Git, for example, you're stellar. Like as a junior developer, you're well ahead of everybody else, especially if you have a portfolio project. Join up, and if it turns out that GraphQL isn't for you, then quit. That's great, but give it a shot. There are prizes this time around, and the winner for the most creative prize is a $50 gift card for everybody on the team. And the prize for best code is $50 Amazon gift card. Stepson is a startup that we've partnered with. They're hosting this hackathon, and they're a GraphQL startup. Their core team will review your code and give you feedback, and also give you the best code award. They're going to be very involved in the hackathon, and they're going to be taking a look at everybody's code to find the best code, and they'll be mentoring as well. So if you want to learn GraphQL from experts who are building a GraphQL startup, they're actually building a GraphQL API, a GraphQL-based API that lets you use GraphQL to connect to bunches and bunches of data sets. If that sounds really interesting to you, then come on over and join next week's hackathon. Now, coming back to this week's hackathon, that's all I got. Does anybody have any questions about today's event? And if you do, then just unmute your mic and just yell it out. No need to make this formal. Any questions about the job board hackathon?
I just realized I was on mute, and I sorry.
You're not supposed to ask questions.
I'm not asking questions. I wanted to show everybody the guide before we open up
Oh, yeah.
Q&A,
Yeah,
because we didn't talk about code mentors. We didn't talk about coffee and code hours. We didn't talk about
forgot all about it.
it's okay. So let me go ahead and do that while you guys are thinking of the questions. I didn't, Monarch, do you mind going into LinkedIn and pulling 2 demo videos that you liked? I wanted to show everybody an example of submissions, and I was sort of not ready for today's presentation, so I didn't get a
Yeah.
chance to like look at LinkedIn and come up with 2 examples that I like. So this is the guide. It should be your best friend. You can find it in the resource section. So it has important reminders, submission deadlines, how to submit. So if you click on that, that's sort of where you find the guide. Demo and feedback day. This is something that we're doing, that we started I think last month, and it's sort of our spin on demo day. We try to make iterations on our learnathons and try to deliver the learnathons in a way that are most effective to you. So we used to do demo days and kind of realize that everybody is presenting their work, but no one else is interested. So it's like you're interested in demoing your project, but no one else is really like interested in hearing other people's work. So we took a spin on it and we said, hey, what would be valuable to new developers that are trying to break into the industry? Well, they would love to hear about, what a senior developer thinks about their project, or architect decisions that have been made, or improvements that could have made to that code. So we do our demos with feedback from a senior developer that's actually led by Monarch and a few other developers on our team. So if you make it to submission, that's something that you have to look forward to. I'm going to go into the guidebook. Let's start with the how to submit section. So there are 3 steps. The first step is definitely on the platform. Submit your project. You do have to be registered. So I'll register, and of course it's pretty standard. I don't really need to walk you guys through this. The second step, which is it is mandatory. So you must post on LinkedIn. I'll click on the example. So a blurb about the challenge, what technologies you use to build it, what you learned from building this project, include project links. So we recommend that you use Mintbean submission links. Guys, this is a completely free community. So we do request that you support Mintbean by, using that submission link, and of course telling your friends about us as well, tagging us, use relevant hashtags, Mintbean technologies, keyword searches, and 1 to 3 minute video demoing it. This is something that Monarch's going to be looking at, and I'll go into what I think makes a video really, really good, potentially, like particularly for potential employers. So if you're in a group, make sure you tag each member. And then the third step is posting it on Discord so that everybody else inside our community can go check out your LinkedIn, and you get that network effect where other people can share and love your work. I'm going to click on that example post and see what, it's Andrew. Awesome. So today I completed my first ever career hack with, you can say learnathon with Mintbean. The challenge was to build a Jeopardy clone. We should probably change this example. We've been showing this example for a long time. The application had to be a front-end web application, no backend or serverless components. So you kind of get a nice little blurb about what he's built. Did you find those videos, Monarch?
Yeah, actually, I know Drew is over here, so this might be weird, but Drew's post is actually really great. I've sent that to you on. You know what? I'll just send it to everybody on Zoom. Here you go.
Chat.
So this is for Soka Wars.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah, that was a good one. So I'm gonna hit play, guys. It's not a long one, so, and then I'll go over what exactly I like about it.
Welcome to Soka Wars. This game was created for Mintbean's JS Puzzler Hackathon. Inspired by Star Wars, we created an R2-D2 pushbox style game known as Sokoban. It incorporates 10 unique levels using Phaser 3, Parcel, and React. To pass a level, R2 must place each colored crate on its corresponding target before he can move on to his next mission. If stuck, simply hit retry and play again. We loved learning about Phaser 3, customizing our own tile set and creating some fun CSS animations to enhance the user's gaming experience. We hope you enjoy, and may the force be with you.
Yeah, I thought this one was really good. It was so in about a minute, they explain the concept of the game, they explain the technologies they use, and then they reference their team. So make the video engaging. If you're in a team, use somebody who has solid communication skills to make that video. LinkedIn is definitely a place where recruiters hang out. Twitter is definitely more developer friendly, where the developer network lives. But LinkedIn is just one of those places that recruiters it's a breeding ground for them. So just make sure that you keep it tight in terms of don't make it like a 3 to 5 minute video. But this is why I love this particular video so much. It's short, it's engaging, it's fun. You get to see the product and application, and you sort of get to meet the team and learn about the technology. Coming back to the guide, there's a section called how to plan your project, and I definitely recommend that you do take a look at it. I usually go over this in orientation, but to save you all from my iterations and on this, I'm going to let you guys read this. But focus on one thing that I'll say is focus on the minimal viable product. Focus on if you're building a job board, it should have the ability for two different types of users, right? It should have the ability for an employer as well as a candidate. And then the features to a job board are sort of endless. Like when you think about Indeed, or when you think about ZipRecruiter, you think about, there's so many platforms out there. Those are just two big ones, or even LinkedIn, right? So think about like how users interact with it, but make sure that your application does that one thing really well before you go on into just feature building. What else did I want you guys to see on this? Yes, the code mentors. Guys, please use these hours. These code mentors are highly vetted. We spend a lot of time making sure that the code mentors that come into the Mintbean community do have the capabilities of supporting you. And we've seen over running these learnathons for the last year that the traction of like, are you going to end up submitting a project versus not submitting, has a lot to do with sometimes if just raising your hand and saying, hey, I need support. So definitely use those hours. Friday at 4, which is today if you're in the Eastern Hemisphere. And then we have 1 if you're in the Pacific, and then 3 Central. Hector, Monday at 6, and then Wednesday at 12. I think that's kind of it for the guidebook. Yeah, and then I think we can open up Q&A unless there was anything else that I wanted to talk about for the week. Was there? The logic behind this all meets is just very strange.
Iterations are good. That's the great thing about software is if it doesn't work, you can rip it out and you can fix it. Unlike building houses.
Fair. Can you imagine if you just accidentally put the front door at the back of the house? How do you restructure that?
Yeah, don't ask me. I don't know. I would recommend just destroying the whole house and building it from scratch again, but that's me as a software developer.
Uh, okay, so we have 2 workshops actually next week from Monarch around job market research and careers, and we have somebody from Netflix coming in. So it's a very job heavy focused week. I believe we also have a panel that isn't yet released. It's going to be I'm confirming the panelist as we speak. It's going to be on in-demand front-end technologies. There's some interesting folks. I have to confirm it with one last speaker. If I can get that up and ready today, I'll have it up. If not, it'll definitely be there Monday. So that's it from me on the guide. Now we can open up for Q&A.
No questions makes my life easier. That's totally fine. Anybody who wants to be in a team but isn't in a team right now? Anybody looking for a team? Nope. Anybody wondering what technology to build this in?
I have a quick question.
Yeah. Hi, Dale.
Hey, so what do you, I know it's kind of open, but what do you expect for like the job? Like, do you want us to use like a third-party API to get like actual job data, or are you thinking like we just seed our own data, or is it kind of open to whatever we want?
It's definitely open. I think it'll be, if you want to build a job aggregator where it's one-sided and it's just just candidates, and you source the jobs from other APIs, that's totally fine. On the other hand, if you want to seed the data yourself, that's fine too. If you want to turn this into a product, that's also fine. Totally up to you. I hope that helps.
Yeah, thanks.
I think there are certain job boards that have public APIs, but most of them are pretty closed on their APIs. If I remember when we were trying to do something with like a few years back, remember Monarch, with job boards, and we quickly learned that most job board APIs are very, very closed.
Yeah. Yep. They're super closed. I don't know what it's like now. Maybe it's better, but yeah. If anybody does an API integration, trust me, I'll be taking a look at your code because I want to know what APIs you guys used for sure.
How's the general consensus on it? Are you guys excited, nervous, ready to get started?
Freaking out? Anybody freaking out?
It seems a little daunting compared to the other, just because you could do so much with it. So
yeah, that's actually
train
true.
yourself a little.
No, definitely. There's I think the best way to approach it is in phases. So I would say, phase 1, just build the employee side, the candidate side out for phase 1, and maybe use fake data, and that way you have a working product. For phase 2, then kind of instead of fake data in the database, now build the employer side out, and now you have a working product again at the end of that phase. And if it takes you way too long to do the second phase, that's fine. You still have a working product. You can just revert your commits back to where it was working, or hide the stuff that's not working, and you're good. So just grow it. Don't think about it as this is a laundry list of things that I need to build. No, instead just say, okay, this is milestone 1, this is milestone 2. We're gonna go as far as we can. And if we just hit one milestone, that's fine. If we hit no milestones, that's fine too.
Oh, cool. Good advice.
Do you guys want to head off to our mingle, our social mingle? We usually hold it in Discord. I feel like there's no questions. Zoom is awkward for networking. I don't know why, like everyone just feels more awkward on Zoom. So we usually
I'll tell you why. It's because everybody's on mute. We tried something yesterday in the socials. We just had everybody take mute off, and it was so much more natural. I think there's something about keeping mute on that just makes it awkward. It's like, oh, now I have to think about whether I want to open my mouth or not. So everybody turns into an introvert, basically.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right, guys.
Anyway,
Yeah, let's head over to, we usually do a social right after orientation. I am trying to find my Discord on the many, many, many tabs I have open. If you go into the video lounge section, you'll find the three beans that we have. We usually head over there for our social. So we'll be going over there right after this call. Yeah, I think that's it for this awkward Zoom call.
yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna be heading into Lima. Navi, where are you heading into?
Wherever the wind takes me.
Oh gosh. Well, these are beans. I'm gonna be upwind of you for sure.
Okay, cool. See you guys there. Bye.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.